Picture this. You're asleep in your bed. Tomorrow morning, your neighbor will accuse you of a crime you didn't commit, one that's impossible to disprove. By sunset, you'll be in chains. In 3 months, you'll hang. This happened to 20 people in the Salem witch trials explained. And it started with 2 little girls playing a game they couldn't stop. Subscribe and support Dark Decoded X. 2 deep investigations every week. Share where you're watching from in the comments. Seeing our growing community from around the world always brings me purpose. Now, let the investigation begin. Welcome to Dark Decoded X. I'm about to tell you a story that sounds impossible, but every word is documented in court records. This dark history documentary isn't about witches or magic. It's about what happens when children discover they can destroy adults with a single word. About a legal system that chose theater over truth. About colonial America. Secrets were your biggest threat. It wasn't the devil. It was your neighbor's jealousy. This is the true history of Salem, and it's more terrifying than any horror film. 2 girls, 1 slave, and the secret that killed a town. It's January 1692, and Salem Village is frozen, literally and socially. Betty Paris, age 9, is bored. Her cousin Abigail Williams, 11, is equally restless in the minister's house, where rules suffocate every moment. Enter Tituba, their Caribbean slave, who knows stories, the kind that make candlelight flicker differently. She teaches them fortune-telling games with eggs and mirrors. Innocent fun, right? Wrong. When Betty's father catches them, panic explodes. The girls start screaming, convulsing, and barking like dogs. A doctor examines them and utters the words that will kill 20 people. The evil hand is upon them. But here's what this mass hysteria psychology case reveals. Modern analysis suggests the girls were faking, trapped in a performance they couldn't escape. They'd crossed a line and the only way out was through accusation. So they pointed at Tituba first. Then there was Sarah Good, the beggar everyone hated. Then Sarah Osborne, who hadn't attended church. 3 women were arrested in the days. The witch hunts in America had begun, and nobody saw the avalanche coming. When survival meant becoming the monster they wanted. Picture Tituba in that cold jail, knowing she's already lost. She's a slave, a woman of color, an outsider. Death is certain unless she gives them what they crave. So she does. She spins a tale so vivid it becomes Salem's new reality. The devil appeared as a tall man from Boston, promised her pretty things, and showed her a book with 9 signatures, meaning 9 witches walk among them. The court erupts. This isn't just 3 women anymore. It's a conspiracy. Tituba's confession, given under psychological and possibly physical torture, transforms paranoia and power into official policy. She survives by naming names, creating the template everyone else will follow. Confess and accuse others. Live. Maintain innocence. Die. Within weeks, accusations metastasize like cancer. That neighbor who let his pigs destroy your crops. Witch. That woman who gossiped about your family. Witch. The widow whose property you want. Definitely a witch. Colonial America secrets, petty feuds, land disputes, unpaid debts are now prosecuted as satanic collaboration. And the girls? They're watching their power grow, learning that tears and trembling can topple anyone. How Salem's courts legalized dreams as murder evidence. Now the story gets truly insane. The judges, educated men who should know better, accept spectral evidence into court. What's that? Testimony that someone's ghost, their spectral form, attacked you in a dream or vision. Let me be clear. Church and justice history will remember this as the moment American law went criminally insane. You could be arrested, tried, and executed because someone claimed your spirit, which you can't control, see, or disprove. Hurt them while you were asleep in your bed. The accused woman says, "I was home with my children." The afflicted girl screams, "But your specter was choking me." The judges nod gravely and call it evidence. Rebecca Nurse, 71 years old, beloved, respected. 39 neighbors sign a petition for her innocence. Doesn't matter. The girls convulse during her trial, shrieking that her invisible spirit is stabbing them right now. She hangs. This dark history documentary evidence shows a legal system that replaced proof with performance. When the invisible becomes evidence, everyone is guilty. How do you fight an accusation you can't see, touch, or disprove? You can't. That's the point. The day Salem watched its first hanging and wanted more. June 10th, 1692. Bridget Bishop stands on Gallows Hill, a rope around her neck. Below, her neighbors, people she's known for decades, watch her die. These Salem executions facts aren't abstractions. Real humans watched real neighbors hang and didn't stop it. Worse, they came back for more. 19 more times between June and September. Sarah Good's last words to the minister who urged her to confess: "You're a liar. I'm no more a witch than you are a wizard. If you take my life, God will give you blood to drink." 23 years later, that minister died choking on his own blood. Then there's Giles Corey, 80 years old, who refused to enter a plea, a legal tactic to prevent them from seizing his son's inheritance. So they pressed him, laid him down, placed a board on his chest, and added stones for 2 days until he died. His last words as they crushed his ribs: "More weight." This is what mass hysteria psychology produces. A community that transforms suffering into entertainment, that brings children to watch hangings, that convinces itself murder is righteousness. Salem didn't just kill witches, it killed its own soul. When 12-year-olds became Salem's most dangerous weapons. Let's talk about Ann Putnam Jr. She's 12 years old, and she's accused 62 people of witchcraft. 62. Think about that. A child pointing her finger became a death sentence. The afflicted girls, Anne, Abigail, Betty, Mercy Lewis, and others, didn't just stumble into power. They refined it. They practiced. During trials, they'd fall into synchronized fits, all screaming simultaneously, all pointing at the same moment. When an accused witch looked left, every girl's head snapped left in perfect unison. Supernatural coordination? No. Rehearsed performance by intelligent young women who'd discovered the ultimate cheat code. This paranoia and power dynamic shows something darker than possession. It shows calculation. They started with social outcasts, testing their power on easy targets. Then they got bolder. Wealthy landowners, church officials, and respected merchants. By August, they accused the governor's wife. They'd learned that in Salem, accusation equals truth, tears equal evidence, and youth equals immunity. They were untouchable, and they knew it. The true history of Salem isn't about the devil. It's about what happens when children realize adults will believe anything if delivered with enough tears and trembling. How one woman's dignity exposed the whole lie. September 22nd, 1692. Mary Eastie is about to die, and she knows it. But unlike the others who begged, who screamed their innocence from the gallows, Mary does something different. She writes. Her petition to the court isn't about saving herself. She knows that's impossible. Instead, she writes, "I petition to your honors not for my own life, for I know I must die, but that no more innocent blood may be shed." She walks to the gallows with such grace, such quiet dignity, that something cracks in Salem's collective delusion. People start whispering, what if she's innocent? What if they're all innocent? Then the girls make their fatal mistake. They accuse the governor's wife, Lady Phipps, also several wealthy Boston merchants. Suddenly, spectral evidence seems less convincing to the judges. When history that changed America threatens the powerful, rules change overnight. Governor Phipps dissolved the special court in October. By May 1693, all remaining prisoners were released. The girls' performances continue, but now people just stop watching. Without an audience, their power evaporates like morning fog. 20 people had to die before Salem's elite decided innocent lives mattered. That's not justice. That's mathematics. What happened to the killers after the killing stopped? Here's the part that should make you angry. The afflicted girls, the ones whose accusations murdered 20 people, faced almost no consequences. Ann Putnam Jr. issued a public apology in 1706. 14 years after the last hanging, she stood in church and said, "I was deluded by Satan." That's it. No trial, no punishment, no restitution. She claimed she was manipulated by the devil, and Salem accepted it because admitting the truth was too painful. They'd been manipulated by children. Judge Samuel Sewall publicly apologized in 1697, the only judge with that courage. The others stayed silent, carried their guilt to their graves, if they felt any guilt at all. Meanwhile, the families of the executed were destroyed. The government eventually paid compensation, £20 per life, £20 for a mother, a father, and a wife hanged on false testimony. The Nurse family lost everything. Their matriarch was executed, their land seized, and their name was ruined. Rebecca Nurse's children scraped by on charity, while Ann Putnam married, had children, and died peacefully in her bed. This is what colonial America's secrets reveal when the spotlight fades. The architects of mass murder often walk free while their victims' families inherit only ash and trauma. The psychology that killed in 1692 is still killing today. Here's the terrifying truth. Salem isn't history, it's a pattern. The psychological mechanism is simple and endlessly repeatable. Step 1. Identify an enemy everyone can hate. Step 2. Create fear that they're everywhere. Step 3. Reward accusations and punish skepticism. Step 4. Watch society devour itself, while those in power benefit from the chaos. We saw it in the 1950s with McCarthyism. Careers destroyed by single accusations, blacklists ruined lives. And "Are you now or have you ever been?" echoed Salem's courtrooms. We saw it in the 1980s with the satanic panic daycare trials, children's testimony, no physical evidence, lives destroyed and later exonerated. We see it now on social media. Accusations go viral, context disappears, and lives explode before facts arrive. The mass hysteria psychology hasn't evolved because it doesn't need to. It works. Salem teaches us that normal people become executioners when fear is weaponized. The afflicted girls weren't possessed. They were empowered by a system that prioritized spectacle over truth. The judges weren't uniquely evil. They were humans who chose convenient lies over difficult truths. And the community? They were us. Faced with the choice between speaking up and staying safe, they chose silence. Salem is proof that the distance between civilization and savagery is one accusation wide. The question isn't if it could happen again. The question is, how do we stop it when it does? If this investigation opened your eyes, like, subscribe, hit that bell, share widely, and watch the next documentaries pinned on the end screen. The gallows on Salem's Hill are gone now, rotted into the earth they're built upon. But the mechanism that built them, fear, accusation, silence, those remain, waiting. 20 people died because a community chose comfort over courage. We remember their names now. Will we remember ours when it's our turn to choose? Our turn to choose.